Murshidabad, that is in the state of West Bengal. Tensions continue to simmer in parts of West Bengal following widespread protests against the Waqf Amendment Act. Now, before we get into the details, let me first tell you today is the New Year that is being celebrated in West Bengal, and tensions continue amid the very occasion itself. Now, after Murshidabad, fresh demonstrations and incidents of unrest have now been reported from South 24 Parganas district as well. In Murshidabad's Dhuliyan town under Jangipuri subdivision, violence broke out back on April 11th. Residents allege that several houses, in fact, and shops were also set on fire during this very chaos. We'll listen in to some of those residents and locals speaking and giving us their account as to what exactly happened. We'll bring you those very responses. In Sodepur Bazar, however, miscreants vandalized a police vehicle. Firefighters and police personnel have since been deployed to clear the damage and maintain law and order. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, speaking in Kolkata, urged for peace and communal harmony. She said that religion should not be used for political purposes. Let's listen in to what Mamata Banerjee had to say.
আমি আবার বলি, ধর্ম যার যার আপনার, উৎসব কিন্তু সবার। আমরা সবাই সব উৎসবে মিলিত হই। কেন হই? তার কারণ কবিগুরু রবীন্দ্রনাথ ঠাকুরের গান, সবারই করি আহ্বান, এসো উৎসুক চিত্ত, এসো আনন্দিত প্রাণ। লাস্টের দিকে বলেছেন, সুন্দরেরই পাদপীঠ তলে, যেখানে কল্যাণ দীপ জ্বালে, সেটা হোক স্থান, সবারই করি আহ্বান। আমরা সব জায়গাতেই যাই।
Now, there is a big breaking development coming in wherein, and this is in this very riot case itself, where intelligence reports have suggested now that for last 3 months, plotters had planned attack on Murshidabad. Money source came in from Turkey. According to the investigative agency, rupees 500 was given to each attacker for stone pelting and looting. Training was given for last 3 months. Bangladesh-style attack and loot was planned. This is what the Indian investigative agencies have had to say, according to sources. These are the latest development, a rather crucial breaking development that's coming in with regards to how this entire situation was a planned one. It was a planned conspiracy, not something that in fact took place overnight, is what we are understanding from the intel sources. With that, let me cut across to our colleague Ravi Shankar Datta, who's joining us on the bulletin. Ravi, very good morning to you. And while it is the Bengali New Year that is in fact today, but it is not a good morning that we are discussing the Murshidabad riot case on, unfortunately. Tell us the latest updates coming in from the grounds there in terms of what the situation is like at this given point, and has peace or normalcy even started setting in pockets of Murshidabad? But more importantly, also take us through these details that have come into light at this given point of money being brought in from Turkey and them being trained Bangladeshi style in terms of the loot and attack, the riots that are taking place in the neighboring country as well. That is the same training they were all given with a 500 rupee note, is what we are understanding at this given point.
Yeah, it's a Bengali New Year today, and a good morning to you. But yes, this is very unfortunate that on this auspicious day we are talking about Murshidabad, a riot that happened and where Hindu has to flee from Murshidabad to Malda. Yes, big developments are coming from the hands of the investigators, and it's very much possible that this case will go in the hands of NIA from the central government. But initially, things that are coming up, as we have come to know, that this whole thing was planned for the last 3 months. After they got success in Dhaka, these attackers, they planned the same thing in Murshidabad and Malda. Went wrong that they have to wait for 3 months. They were waiting for a trigger to happen. Now, when the trigger came, initially they thought that Ramnavami will be, they will cause this disruption and they will cause this huge panic. But initially, the security in the state during Ramnavami was so tight that they had achieved. Now, this Waqf Amendment Bill, when it came to existence, after that the protest started in different parts of Bengal, they took this chance, and initially whatever the developments we have come to know, the details that we have come to know, it says like attackers were, these attacks were planned in small grounds within Murshidabad, Dhuliyan area where they were trained how to throw stones and how to cause disruption. The mango gardens within Murshidabad and Malda, those were the places where these kind of things were happening, where there are Muslim belts, they had penetration within that, and 3 months earlier too, member of Ashadullah Bangladesh, they came to West Bengal and they said that that there will be a big dawa coming up. So you can understand that
Ravi, there is a little bit of an audio issue on your side at this given point. We'll come back to you, but let me just take our viewers once again through this very breaking news that we are getting. It is a big development, ladies and gentlemen, that we are speaking of, wherein, as our colleague Ravi was also telling us, that for the last 3 months there was this planned effort to create trouble in Murshidabad, and these people who had been trained for this very purpose, or at least that is what is being said at this given point, they were trained in the same style as those who had in fact instigated violence in Dhaka only a few months back. If you remember the ouster that took place of Sheikh Hasina in the month of August last year, it is the riots that had taken place in Bangladesh which in fact finally culminated to that very event, and it is being said that these people were given similar training and they were asked to sit tight till there was a trigger point which would allow them to come out and take action on the streets. That is what we are understanding at this given point. Ravi, help us understand this, that if there was indeed intel, and a lot of people we've spoken to, experts, journalists from Bengal, they are saying that, there was intel about a situation which might come into occurrence where such disturbances would be seen. Now, if there was intel, and since you also spoke about Ram Navami, let me just remind our viewers that when Ram Navami, on the occasion of Ram Navami, when Ram Navami was taking place, the deployment of police could be seen on the streets. There were police placed in pockets of Bengal everywhere, including the city of Calcutta. Now, if there was intel about such disturbances brewing within pockets in Bengal, and at a time when we had seen the Waqf law, bill becoming a law and becoming an act, why was there no police presence then? If there was intel already that had come in that yes, there is a chance of such disturbances, why were those initial hours of these disturbances, why did they pass without much action being seen from the police?
See, initially the intel was there will be disruption, but as Javed Sawmi yesterday said that this, the disruption will be of this magnitude, it was not thought. Now, how to understand what will be the magnitude? The police had no clue about that. And as I said, these things happened for the last 3 months. Internally, they had made a plan. They came slowly. They crossed the border. Some of them crossed the border, and from the non-aided madrasa that are in Murshidabad and Malda, though the attackers were chosen from that places. Initially, they were told that if you do stone pelting and looting, you will be given 500 rupees. So they made a catalog. And if they do a number of house looting, they will be given 1,000 rupees. Now, if you go and give the list that I have done these kind of things, the more the money will be added. So this was the kind of catalog that police has found out, which it clearly said that it had a big planning. The success they got from Dhaka, the success they got from removing Sheikh Hasina from the throne, the same thing was planned here in West Bengal. Now, what was the motive? Because Bangladesh and India has a huge difference in the security system. But how people cross the border, how many they crossed, how did the two members of ATB, they came to West Bengal and they told about a dawat is a big question. So these things are slowly coming up. Investigative agencies have found out 70 phone calls that came on that day, particularly from Bangladesh to Murshidabad, and they were disbursing the things, staying on the television, like how
discussions
to walk.
Were taking place on phone calls, as we understand. Yes, 70 phone calls.
70 phone calls, but like the things we have seen during the Mumbai attack, the The television journalists were told to go on live after an hour. Whatever is happening, give it after an hour and two. The same way they were controlling the whole situation, seeing the thing on the television.
Right.
So they
right.
were controlling the things from Bangladesh, sitting on Bangladesh, and continuously phone calls were going on, seeing whatever we were saying from the spot via the television. They were monitoring the whole thing. So this kind of planning was done for the last 3 months.
Disturbing and shocking details we are understanding with regards to the planning that's taken place. Ravi, I have very little time with me. I'm going to take a one-liner response from you on this. Has situation started normalizing in Murshidabad right now?
See, initially the situation is normalizing in West Bengal, in Murshidabad and Malda, because these people have gone to Malda. But I also want to a small thing. But till when? The question remains till when? Because as the time comes, the police at a time will come when central force will be withdrawn, when police will be withdrawn. What will happen to them? So
which is why there has been a request from the residents itself that they want a BSF troop, the BSF troops to be stationed in Bengal, in Murshidabad specifically.